Hi, good morning everybody. It's me Paula and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I'm Paula. I'm a 42-year-old mum of 3 and I do a variety of things on my channel, mainly based around kind of subscription unboxings, try-ons, beauty things, all that kind of stuff. Right, just got back from doing the school run and I'm just having a cup of tea because it was a nightmare this morning. I know I leave my tea bag in my cup. I know I'm weird. I just like very strong builder's tea. Yeah, those of you who watch my channel know my love of builder's tea. Anyway, yeah, so it was one of these mornings where, like, you know, when you get, mums, you'll know what I mean, when the kids get up and there's one of them that's in a funny mood, and especially when it's like a toddler or like a preschooler, and they're just having like constant meltdowns, and then you're late and it's just, oh. So I haven't done my makeup yet, so I was going to do a little chatty get ready with me while I do my makeup. So yeah, so how's everybody doing? How was everyone's weekends? My weekend was as usual busy. I had so I'm just going to put my primer on. I'm using the Fenty Beauty Primer Pro Filter Hydrating Primer. I've just sort of started recently using this one. I usually, you know, I've used the Dr. Brandt's Pore Minimizer one for a long time, well, for a couple of months. And so Teresa's said about the this Fenty one being really good, and it is really good. It feels really light. It's very hydrating, and it does say obviously hydrating primer, so it's a very light, liquidy, very. I'll just show you actually on my hand what it looks like. So it's very it's almost just like a sort of moisturizer. It almost feels like, but it does hydrate your skin and it does give it a nice glow, which is nice. So that's my primer. I'm using Fenty Beauty Primer, and I'm going on to use the Jeffree Star concealer in, I think it's I've got, what shade have I got? C4, one of the, like, not the lightest. I think they do like cloud and stuff, but this is just one of his lightest ones. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, so I did my eyes, I really scrubbed my face this morning, but I was wearing quite dark eyeliner last night, and you know sometimes you try and get your eyeliner off and it still leaves a bit of a residue. We are getting out. So just putting on the concealer, trying to get rid of some of these bags under my eyes, which are awful this morning. Yeah, so I had Saturday, the kids had their activities. I did a bit, you know, trying to get up to date with cleaning, and then I went in and did some studying at the library. I'm doing stuff on stats at the moment, psychology, which is really, I mean, I come from an, you know, my background is as an English literature and language girl, so maths and stats is not really my strong point, which is yeah, so I'm trying to get my head around it. It's not so much getting my head around it, it's the boredom factor. I mean, I know some people love maths and, you know, go on there with your bad self, as you say. But, you know, I just, you know, I'm just not I don't mind problem solving. I quite like problem solving, and, you know, like when you get like a problem and you've got to work it out, and I don't mind the maths element of that, but it's just when you're doing like statistics and analysing statistics, I find that a little bit like, oof, bit overwhelming. So I'm doing that and trying to get my head around that on Saturday, and then I had my nephew's first birthday party on Sunday, so that was really nice. So I got to see my mum and dad were back from Madeira. They were on holiday in Madeira, so they'd really enjoyed that, which was great. But it was really busy and the kids were all going crazy, and I felt really sorry for my little nephew because my kids are just like running around, and especially my little girl, and my nephew's kind of, what's going on here? He's so cute though. He's so adorable. Right, okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to blend this concealer in a bit. I love these sponges that have like the points of diamond sponges. I just bought a new one actually. I saw a couple of YouTubers reviewing the diamond sponges and I absolutely loved it. So I decided to get one, and they're really good because you've got the little point there you can get right into like the corners, and then you've got the bit for doing the more for foundation, which is really good. I've just realised I did a face mask last night and I realised I've got a tiny bit there, it's just not come off. Anyway, sorry about that. So professional on this channel. Yeah, so last week at school, I'm a teacher, a lot of the kids are really worried about the coronavirus. because obviously Scotland now we've got about 11 cases, I think, or maybe less than that. I think maybe less than that. And obviously it's probably going to end up going around the whole of the UK, I think. But it's like, questions is how to sort of talk to your kids about it, you know, like, because especially because I've got kids that are all of very different age groups. I've got like one that's nearly, you know, going to secondary school, he's 11, and I've got one that's 9, and he gets really worried about stuff, about things like that he sees in the media. And then I've got obviously my 4-year-old, and it's like, how do you talk to your children about something like this without making them overly scared, being prepared for it? And the thing is the problem is it's all over the media at the moment, and I'm not a medical expert, so anything I say on this channel is just from my own reading and my own personal opinion. From what I've read is, yes, it's a very infectious virus, but again, just like it's almost, you know, a little bit worse than the flu with the respiratory stuff, but it is kind of like, you know, a normal virus going around, and the people that will be most affected, unfortunately, will be the people who are immune suppressed or the old people. And obviously, but hopefully the medical services will be keeping a special eye out for those people and taking care of them. And I suppose obviously for services, I think obviously, you know, a lot of medical professionals might, so this is the Too Faced Born This Way Foundation. It's okay. I don't really want to promote Too Faced on this channel, because a lot of people have issues with it, with the brand. I got this a while ago and I'm just going to use it up. It's okay. It's a bit, I think I picked one that's a bit too light for my skin tone, but anyway, so but that's what I'm using. Next I'm going to go in with the Hourglass, and this is such a beautiful compact. This is the Ambient Lighting Edit Ghost palette. So you open it up and that's what you get inside it. I'm sure you've seen other YouTubers talk about it. The reason I got it was because I absolutely love Teresa's Dead's channel. I think she's amazing. I love her humor. I love her reviews, everything. And she does a very good, she did a very good review of this one, and she was like, you have to get it. So she could pretty much sell me anything. So basically we've got the 2 powders there. So there's the 2 finishing powders, one's in diffused light and one's in dim light. We've got a strobe powder, an iridescent strobe light, a bronzer, a strobe blush, and a blush. So I'm going to use this one here, I think. Yeah, so it's the more pinky one, because I think I need a bit of that today. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, so I think I promise, because everything's been in the news, I think a lot of children are getting extremely frightened about it. I'm a teacher, and a lot of the kids have come up to me and gone, oh, you know, and they've read like conspiracy theory things on the internet about, you know, like Resident Evil and all this sort of stuff. And I was trying to say to them, look, you know, it is like a flu. It will, you know, some people get it, some people won't. You know, it probably is quite infectious, but if you do get it, you know, it's not... people, generally speaking, will recover within a week or so and be absolutely fine. And, you know, some people who are a bit older might end up in hospital, but the services, especially like in, you know, obviously the US, the UK, are very good at dealing with that, and will look after those people, the people who've got like asthma, very, very bad asthma, and are elderly, because I think it's kind of a combination of age. As you get older, the chances get higher. Plus, if you have like some underlying conditions, that's when, you know, the chances are more for getting ill. But I mean, you know, a lot of people who are old will just get it and it'll be fine, and people who have the conditions will get it and it'll be fine. It's just more dangerous for people who have a combination of those factors. And again, luckily in the health services that we've got in this country, they are pretty good at being on top of these things. I did talk to a doctor just as who's a friend, and he was saying the problem for the medical services is if a lot of people are ill at the same time, as in their staff, certain operations and stuff, you know, that's more the concern, is like, you know, how they're going to get to do with the everyday stuff, you know, if like people have gone off sick and things. But, you know, they'll do it, they'll get around it. And, you know, I suppose it's just a matter of being prepared and following all the instructions of their advice about how to, you know, like prepare for it, and, you know, following like the sanitation advice and everything. But it's just trying to, my question is really just how do you talk to your kids about it, especially if they are of different ages. And I think with my little girl, you know, like she's not really take it on board. She wouldn't be really concerned with it. So with her, I suppose, if she did ask about it, I would just be like, well, some people get a little bit ill, but then they'll feel better soon. With my 9-year-old, obviously they're hearing things in the playground, people are asking things, older brothers and sisters are talking about things. So with him, I probably would go into a bit more detail, but again, I would be just saying, look, there's nothing for you to be concerned about, really. Everything will be fine. I think he was worried about my mum and dad and my husband's mum and dad, but they're only like their late 60s. They're not. And I was saying, look, even if anyone got it, they'll be fine. They'll get over it. Might be a bit ill for a bit, but then they'll feel better, just like a flu. And that's really pretty much what I've said to my 11-year-old as well. Unfortunately, at school, there's a lot of kids that are just getting really, really, really stressed about it, really worried. But I don't know. How are you talking to your kids about it? Have you spoken to them? Have they asked you questions? It's hard to know what to do as a parent, because you don't want your children to be really, really, really worried all the time. Especially when some adults are worried about it. Some adults, haven't listened to like the facts and things. And yeah, of course it is a pandemic, but pandemic just means like a virus that's going around the whole world, the whole globe. And yes, at the moment, unfortunately, have been people that have died, but generally speaking, I think there's been 2 cases in the UK that have died. They're both been elderly and had underlying health conditions. I don't know what, and I think that probably be quite similar pattern in other countries. But like I say, I'm not a medical expert. I don't know. That's just from what I've been reading. But yeah, what have you been saying to your kids? Have you, or if your teacher has children, been asking you questions? It is hard if you're not a medical expert and you do get, children asking you questions, because in some ways, especially if they're teenagers, you want to give them the right information, but sometimes you just don't know. You just have to say, I don't 100% know there. Okay, so I'm using the Provic Tar palette by NARS. I just love this packaging. It's so cute. It's so like 3D. Right, okay, I've done that colour there, which is vinyl, which is like a sort of gold. It's like a white with a slight tiny bit of gold shimmer. I think I'm going to go in with this one here, which is it's all upside down, Screech. I don't know why it says Screech. Yeah, so that's really what I've been doing this weekend. Hope you guys all had a nice weekend. I did lots of stuff. I'm just planning for the next few weeks ahead. Like I said, I booked this, talking about the coronavirus, and I booked a holiday for my dad and myself. I'm taking him to Copenhagen for his 70th. It's a surprise, but he doesn't watch YouTube anyway. And I think I've spoken about that in another video. I've bought Copenhagen passes so we can go and see everything. My dad and I are both really big into our sort of history and sightseeing and things, so it'll be nice for me and my dad just to go around and be able to do that. I think I'm going to go in with Exploit next. Yeah, I just have time to wander around. And my kids like sightseeing too, but obviously there's certain levels of sightseeing you can do when you're kind of not with your kids and with little kids, because little kids, something, they do get bored after a while, and there's not much you can do. Then you have to have lots of snack stops and lots of like sit down, let's have another drink and things like that. But obviously just me and my dad. I've taken my mum away a few times, and me and my sisters, and we've done like spa weekends and things. I thought I've never really done anything with my dad on his own, and actually me and my dad get on really, really well. In fact, we're much more similar in personality than I am with my mum. Like my mum, I think me and my dad are very, very similar. Just sort of temperament and things like that as well. Just blend that in a bit. So it'll be nice to do some stuff with him. Okay, I think I might just darken it up a little bit with this colour here, which is Not For Sale. Really weird titles here. I'm just going to do a little bit there today. Yeah, so that's at the end of March. I'm really, really hoping that the coronavirus doesn't stop travel at the end of March, or that we don't have the coronavirus at the end of March, because then we won't be able to go. I have heard as well that they're saying that, you know, by the time it's spread around, you know, most of Europe or whatever, the cancelling flights thing will be kind of null and void, because at the end of the day, if everyone's got it in their countries, then they won't be minimizing travel. But I know, like, obviously in Italy, everything's closed down pretty much. They've got curfews. They've got you know, people aren't being allowed out after certain times. The schools all shut down. I mean, I've heard as well that they're saying, like, obviously the schools get shut down. A lot of the Italian parents are sort of saying that, what are we going to do with our kids for like 6 weeks or whatever, you know, like in the house? And that's a concern. I mean, obviously, if you don't have kids, that's not, you know, something you maybe think about. But like, I know what my little girl is like when she doesn't get out to do stuff. She just goes absolutely crazy. Like, so, yeah, so, you know, how would we entertain children if you can't go to like play barns, or, you know, the park's kind of out the question or whatever? You know, what do you do? But yeah, so yeah, but you know, obviously the main concern, obviously, you want people to be healthy, and you know, that's the main thing, to keep people, elderly people, healthy as well, who are, you know, maybe on their own, and keep an eye out for people who might be living on their own. I might just leave that today, just like that. I'm just going to use my so that was the NARS Provocateur palette. Just keeping it simple for day, and I'm going to use this one here, which is the Uzu Eye Opening Liner. Now, this is a Japanese brand. I saw a YouTuber talking about this, and it looked really good, so I decided I was going to get it. I had to actually import it, so I ordered it from Amazon.com rather than the UK site, and it did actually come within a couple of weeks, but I did have to pay a little bit extra for, I mean, I normally get Prime, but I had to pay a bit extra for this, but it's an amazing liner. I really want to buy some more of these. It is like phenomenal. It's really, really easy to control. Okay, so I'm really bad at talking and doing my liner at the same time. Talking of holidays, we're trying to think of, we're going away and for Easter, we're doing a camper van trip. And it's going to be really good because it's not our camper van, it's my in-laws camper van, but they kindly let us borrow it. My husband actually had to do an extra license. I don't know, like if you are of a certain age, you don't need to do the extra license for driving a camper van, but if you are under a certain age, you have to do it. It can be quite expensive. So my husband had to pay nearly £1,000 to do this license to allow him to drive the camper van. But the good thing about it is, now that we've done it, he did it a few years ago, it means that we get quite cheaper holidays, because we can take the camper van, we can borrow it. If my in-laws are not using it, we can borrow it, which is really good. It saved us a lot of money. I mean, to stay in a campsite in the UK, you're looking at maybe £20 for an electric hookup with water. And you know, quite a lot of the places will have restaurants, or will have, you know, like children's facilities like camper van, like play parks and things. It's well worth doing. It's good fun, and you've got everything that you need on site. Oh, I haven't done my eyebrows. I'll just quickly do them. But yeah, so it's going to be, yeah, it'll be quite fun. It does sometimes get a little bit cabin fever in it, especially if it's raining. But there'll be lots of fun stuff to do. We're going to go down to Liverpool, because I've never been to Liverpool actually. And we'll probably go and do, this is the Give Me Bride by Benefit. I've just got a little small one. Yeah, we're going to go down to Liverpool and see a couple of the sites there. Quite a lot is free in Liverpool, which I think is really good. I mean, a lot of the museums are free. A lot of the maritime museums and everything are quite free, are good. They've even got one exhibition on the history of slavery, which is really, really interesting, because obviously Liverpool is on the, you know, on the coast and everything, and well, sorry, it has big rivers going into it, and they had there's a lot of history there of their ports were often involved in was that the triangular slave trade, which went obviously to from UK to like the Caribbean islands and then back again, and to Africa and that. And it's quite, it's quite an interesting history, because I think it's something kids should be aware of. They should be aware of Britain's part. I think like children in the UK, they're sometimes unaware of the British contribution to the slave trade and how they were involved. They seem to think it's something that just went on in the US and, like the plantations, the cotton plantations and things. But actually, Britain had a role to play in that as well, and it's important that they know that they know that, that Britain's hands weren't clean when it came to things like that. But there's a apparently a very good exhibition in one of the maritime museums there, so probably go and see that. And then we're going down to Alton Towers via this. Apparently, there's a safari park called the Monkey Park in Trentham. So you can go in this, like, these monkeys are wild running around and they'll come up to you. And then we're going down to Alton Towers. So I'm going to use just a little bit of lipstick today that is actually very, very clear. This is actually called Le Rouge Perfecto in Perfect Pink. And this is by, who's this by again? It's Clarins. And this is really good. They've got a few of the different colours. And what happens is it adapts to the acidity in your lips or the whatever in your lips. And it's just like your colour will be slightly different to whoever else wears it. This is just their very lightest one. This is very nice. It's like almost like a gloss sort of finish. But they've got a really nice one called Blue Pink. And it looks really blue. Like it looks like dark blue there. But when you put it on, it comes out pink, and different shades of pink depending on who's using it. Okay. That's me all set for the day now. I feel a bit better. Yeah, so hope everyone has a lovely day. I'm just going to do a quick unboxing in my next video. So if you are interested in that, hop on to the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.